How we doing, everyone? I'm Andy Malfrina. This is Drag the Lake. And I know on this YouTube channel, we mostly stick to heavy music, but it's not a hard, fast rule. Well, we're still going to stick to mostly heavy music, but it's not only heavy music. Because at the end of the day, I'm not dragging the lake to just find you the best heavy songs. I'm dragging the lake to find you the best songs I can find. And I found a couple more, is what I'm trying to say. Run the Jewels. You guys may be familiar. I talk about them semi-regularly or whenever I get a chance to, because out of all the rap groups, they are my favorite. There's a lot of rap groups that I really, really like. But if I had to pick a number one, it is Run the Jewels. So they stay on my radar often. And I saw this pop up. I don't know if it was like announced or was a surprise release, but either way, it was a surprise for me. Spotify let me know, yo, there's some new Run the Jewels shit. I always get fucking excited like it's Christmas morning to go check that out, which one year they actually did. Was it Christmas Eve? Yeah, it wasn't Christmas morning. I think Run the Jewels 3 was Christmas Eve. Yeah, so they are prone to literally giving you Christmas presents. It's not figurative. It's literally they will give you Christmas presents. But yeah, so I saw this. I got pretty hyped. I know when I saw there was like a bunch of Latin remixes of their songs, I was excited because a lot of times like rappers or whoever, they'll put out a remix, and I know actually, this isn't a rapper, but band I do love, Enter Shikari, they will put out remix, but sometimes they tend to like pad the album with remixes, or they'll put out like a special edition or a single, and then here's like 3 or 4 remixes, and then you listen to it and you're like, all right, this is kind of just like a fast, I don't know the names of the genres, of the electronic genres very well, but it'll be like, this is just like a fast house song with, some Enter Shikari lyrics over it. And I'm not shitting on it. I'm not trying to shit on it too hard, because that's also not like my thing. There's probably people who are really into like all those genres that are like, no, these fucking rule. But what I'm trying to get at is a lot of times you'll have these like quote unquote remix albums who it's just, the songs sound like they're here to just kind of like pad the album and, have a quick way of giving you more content. But this right here, and why I'm bringing it up on the YouTube channel and why I want to relay this information and let you all know about this album, is because I was listening to it today. I got a little bit into it last night. I think I said that earlier. I got a little bit into it last night, but today was the chunk of the listening. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. I don't know if I bring that up a lot on here, but I am obsessed with Call of Duty. Play it too much, but I like to listen to like podcasts or listen to music sometimes when I play it. And I threw this on, Run the Jewels Cu4tro, I believe is what it's going by. I threw this on while playing some fucking Call of Duty today. Yo, that shit was crazy. Cause it's like this shit's so good. It's so good. And I know I'm obviously one of the most, when it comes to Run the Jewels, I'm one of the most biased parties there is. You know what I mean? But I do gotta say, this is so good, because it's not just, like, it's just its standalone album. It's not some fucking remix thrown onto the end of, like, oh, here's a special edition. It's, it's a bunch of remixes you don't really fuck with. But the care, like, these turned into, so, actually, let me say this first, because my criteria of a good remix is it needs to feel, you need to have somewhat of a nod to the earlier thing. Because, like, so there was I don't know how often this happens anymore, but there was a big, ever since, they used to have these albums called Punk Goes Pop or Punk Goes Crunk or whatever. And I remember there was a time, and so that was kind of a thing bands would do a lot. And then from my vantage point, I remember All Time Low. They were a popular emo band, pop punk, whatever you want to call them. They did a cover of Umbrella by Rihanna. And then that got really, because it was really fucking good. And then that got popular, so everyone started doing it. But then a lot of these bands, they just kind of like, they're like playing the chords, or they're playing the chord progression of the song, and you hear the lyrics, but it doesn't feel like the original. You know what I mean? Because that's what happens a lot of times when something, like when a trend starts to happen, is a lot of people miss the actual reason of why it's good. So when a lot of these pop punk bands were covering rap songs, pop songs, whatever the fuck. They just thought like, oh, I'll just learn the chord progression and sing the song. And it's like, no, you need to sort of have like some sort of essence of the original thing beyond just the lyrics and chord progression that make it feel like that. It doesn't need to be 90% of your song. It could be like fucking 10, 20% of your song, but it needs to be there, or else you just have a uninspired shitty remix. And to tie this into this Run the Jewels album is a lot of these remixes, while they are they are their own standalone song, they still keep the essence of the original song, and they utilize a lot of what they were doing in the previous. They utilize a lot of what they were doing on the original songs. Like, you could easily just, throw down that like fucking reggaeton beat, hit them with the boop baduta, you know what I mean, and then do whatever fits with like a typical Latin song, have the right chord progression, and then just throw the lyrics over top. But they didn't do that. They had a lot of they had a lot of the essence of the original songs, like basically being like this is the Latin version of this song, not just this is a Latin song that has the same lyrics or what. I don't know if I'm expressing that clearly, but yeah, man. Because you can hear like the tender love and care in all of these songs, and as a fan, it's much appreciated. This shit goes. I will say this, like, generally speaking, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but generally speaking, reggaeton is one of the worst genres for me. I apologize if you love it. I'm not trying to shit on the things you like. Just when I hear it, like, even when, like, there's a lot of genres I don't really care for, like a lot of EDM type genres, but like, like in college when I would do Molly and stuff, I'd be like, there's something to this EDM junk. You know what I mean? But like, completely sober or what, I was like, no fucking way. But, and there's a scenario. Normally I don't like country music, but I've had friends, they'll like bring me to a country concert, and then you realize it's a big tailgate, and then you get hammered, and you hear the little twang-a-lang, and you're like, hell fucking yeah. But I gotta be honest, and I don't wanna upset any of my Latin viewers. I know there's a lot of them. I don't want to upset them, but the typical reggaeton does not do it for me, and it makes me quite upset, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't know if that's because I'm trying to say white devil in Spanish, but I know Blanco devil. Anyway, I don't know if that's what it is. Diablo, El Blanco Diablo. Would it be Diablo Blanco? Either way, I'm sorry if I upset any of my Latin viewers. But for real though, it just doesn't connect. But that's not to say I can't get down with a buta to a degree. And the way that they do it on this Run the Jewels album is fantastic, because it's not just like, yo, here's that one fucking preset beat we always use. Speed it up or slow it down so it matches up. Like, it feels like a band's playing a lot of these songs. And you could that's the other cool part, is you could legitimately, like, I don't know how likely it is to happen, but I strongly encourage, like, Run the Jewels. Like I don't, like, they're probably not going to tour it, because they probably wouldn't tour it because it would just be like economically, and planning it and stuff would probably just be a headache, you know what I mean, and probably not worth the money. But I will say this, I know when the pandemic happened, them and Ben and Jerry's did their whole little thing where they were doing, that sounds condescending, their whole little thing. It was fucking fantastic. But they did their thing where they were like performing in that warehouse for this album. It'd be very, very sick if they got together with like a full Latin band and like perform this album, because I do think they could, and I do think there's the willpower from everyone involved to do that. And yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun, because also too, a big thing with this album is I felt they went farther down. They have their classic like shit talking that they do, but I think on this album they went farther down a more serious political route. And so while I like Run the Jewels sometimes their shit gets a little heavy, so when it does, I may default to 2 or 3 to lighten up the mood. But pairing this stuff up with the very upbeat Latin music underneath the heavy lyrics is a very fun and interesting combo. To avoid talking circles, I'll just end it with this. It's just real great. It's just real fun. It's some shit you could put on at a party and just have a fucking blast. It's all very high energy. So do yourself a favor. Go check out RTJ Cu4tro and just have a good time. Sidebar, Complex. Gotta chill with the fucking ads. I mean, I appreciate you having it up so I could use it as a backdrop. But Jesus fucking Christ. You go onto this page and it was like ad here. And then a little video. This ad turned into the whole thing. And then a little video slid over here. And then another video slid over here. And then you have this ad down here that just will not go away. And then when you got rid of all those. And there was like one more, I think. But then when you got rid of all those, it was like, do you want to sign up for our email? I don't, Complex. Please stop harassing me. But anyway, yeah, man, not a lot else to say. Go listen to Run to Jules Cu4tro if you haven't already. It is severely worth it. Dude, they're doing it now. They're doing it now. Complex, chill the fuck out. Anyway, Run to Jules Cu4tro. It is severely worth your time. Check it out. I'm Andy Malfrina. Thanks for watching. I love you. Bye-bye.